Welcome to Timeless Homes. I'm your host, Clayton Vance. Today we're looking at selecting parcels, estate type of parcels that are 3 acres or more. And this one is an absolutely stunning, beautiful place here in the mountain valleys. And we're going to look at the 3 things that are absolutely critical when you're looking at any lot. And that's utilities. How are they here and how do you get them in here? The legal issues, your HOA, your zoning, your property boundaries and all that stuff. And also, most importantly for your house, the site conditions. How does it lay out, the topo and the views, the climate. Second thing is utilities, which is one of the more easy things to take care of. You can just call it the utility companies or just look around. Most of the time you can see where your hookups and or electricity is going to come from. And on this particular parcel, I know there's sewer in that road. I know there's power because I can see it right there. I know there's cable because I know the house right there has cable, and I can see plenty of water being irrigated right now, so they've got water. Another really important issue to talk about is the legal issues, which is going to be your property lines. Always make sure, absolutely make sure that you start with a survey, hire a surveyor, a very competent surveyor, get the property surveyed, check out the fence lines, make sure the fence lines are consistent with the actual survey, and if they aren't, figure out exactly how you're going to deal with that. And then the next and really important things is to go to the planning department for your particular municipality and check in the zoning, check with the zoning and what sort of things are restricted or permitted, because all of your grand ambitions may come to a screeching halt if the zoning doesn't allow for whatever dreams you have to be realized on your property. And that's probably some of the most important advice, is make sure that whatever you want to do can be done. So verify your zoning with someone in the planning department and just be straight up and say, here's what I want to do, can it be done? Then last but not least, sometimes there's going to be some deed restrictions and easement conditions and all that type of stuff. So just make sure that on the survey that the surveyor will do for you, have the topo, and also writes down what sort of easements there would be. Here we are on lot 2, and let's look at some quick differences. Topography, we still have a pretty significant slope from there to there. It's about 10 feet from the edge of property line to edge of property line, even though you can't tell because it's so flat. We still have a very similar view looking at the mountains in a very similar fashion, but we don't have a knoll or a hill to sit the house on. And so in terms of siting and site conditions, it's going to be very similar, but because of the approach to the house and the orientation of what we want to look at, we may be putting the front of the house over here, and when we walk through, voila, welcome to the paintings of God. That's probably what we're going to do in terms of siting this. And this is supposed to be a little ranchette of sorts, a little mini ranch. Okay, also here on lot 2, some things to think about. Utilities. This might be a little bit more complicated. We still got power, electrical, sewer, no sewer to be found, so this is going to be a septic. High water table. So we know we've got water, probably too much water, so we're going to have to build this house up and make sure we get a sewer, a septic system tested, because that can kill a project. The legal issues, there's a fence over there that is on the wrong part of the property, and so we have a little boundary dispute going on, and I hope it doesn't kill the project. Lots of things to deal with. HOA, legal issues, easements, deed restrictions, zoning requirements, height restrictions, etc., and especially fences. Make sure they're in the right spot. Welcome to lot 3, completely different lot than the other 2. Let's look at a couple site constraints that are totally different about this one than the last 2 we were in. Our building lot is way up there. We'll show you in just a second, but we've got a road that goes up. We have to have a driveway that goes up to it, and that driveway is going to be constrained by whatever sort of engineering department and fire department requirements. And they have certain grade and turnaround requirements. That is going to be your greatest limitation. So when you're looking at properties like this, you got to make sure that you can actually get up to the building lot. And if you're going to be on septic, you have to make sure that there's enough flat ground that's not above like a 30% grade in order to have a septic. But I think this lot has a sewer right over there. So that's going to be good. All right, so follow me up. let's go to where the building lot is. So what we have here is like a panoramic view of the valley. And in terms of siting the house, once again, we're looking at our views. And we don't want to put the wrong spaces looking at the wrong stuff. And we want to make sure we maximize our window placement to be able to see these things. And you can see this, let me just show you something. We know which direction it's going right now, but that wind changes all over the place. And so as we're looking at figuring out how to orient this house and how to compose it, we want to look at being able to block the wind from multiple different directions so you can still take advantage of that view inside and outside, different times of year, and be blocked from weather at different times of day and different seasons. So one really great thing about this property is the fact that it backs up to BLM land back here. That will never be developed. Over here, you can't see the because he's off the hill. This neighbor is pretty far off the hill, and so you have this really nice sense of isolation and incredible privacy. And that's one of the really great things about building up here at the top of the hill. So as a wrap up today, we looked at 3 lots. We looked at their utilities, their legal issues, and also the site conditions and how we'd want to orient the house relative to the sites. So think about those things as you're looking at property. And thank you for joining us at Timeless Homes. This is Clayton Vance. See you next time.